Welcome to another AriasWave XRP update. Okay, so based on recent price action that's going on in the XRP, I did say it had to break 65 cents. And at this point in time, it hasn't quite done it yet, but I did see that on the XRP AUD chart, it has. So I thought I'd just go back through some previous notes I had on previous ideas which I hadn't posted. And, like alternative counts. I don't really like using alternative counts, but when this type of choppy behavior happens, I do like to do it. And especially because we've done already, I put out ideas on XLM, Bitcoin, and Cardano, and they're all telling me roughly the same thing. So why would this one be any different? So the one thing that had me stumped on this one, now this is potentially the A wave ended in March scenario, which is a very common theme throughout a lot of coins, right? So I thought, okay, let's look at this interpretation and I'll put it out there and see how it's received, right? Now, so this is the area that really bothers me when it comes to the B wave, right? Because you've got this kind of price action. This almost looks like a 5-wave move, right? But I really got to thinking, why? And due to the SEC lawsuit, I basically figured out why this is going on, why this area looks the way it does, and what is it trying to do. Okay, so what I'm thinking now is that potentially the reason why this, sorry, I just put that in there. So the reason why this C wave went so low was because of the SEC lawsuit. So I think originally, perhaps maybe, this C wave wasn't meant to be so deep. But because of what happened in the SEC lawsuit, I do believe that this C wave ended up being deep, even though this B wave was on its way to being an expanded B wave that probably would have hit all-time high, like XLM, for example, right? So I'm starting to think this, and I'm like, okay, still a bit iffy on it, but I'm also seeing other things going on down at the lower degree. Right now, I'm not going to go into this A wave because you can see I've put the labels on, and the A wave ended here according to this count. And then we had a sharp A, B, 3-wave move, C. Well, what I thought could have been a 3-wave move. Let's look at it like as if it's a C. Now, the wave 4 in that one is very small. So, okay, whatever. Let's try it out. D wave, 3-wave move here, and then E wave. And then finally, the C wave, that's the completed A wave. So basically, this is why we're going through all the coins, because we're looking for that common theme and trying to work really hard using all the evidence we have to build a bigger picture, right? Now, the only other thing about this particular B wave is this A wave is very small. But I do believe that because of how this wave was sort of going to turn out, the A wave, the C wave might have been just as long as the A wave at some point, but the correction took a turn. So these things obviously throw the analysis of waves off quite a bit. So what I think could be potentially going on now is A, B, C, D, and E. Now, E has to be a 5-wave move. So this has to be a 5-wave move down here. It can't be a zigzag. So let's just zoom in closer and let's have a look at these waves. Okay. Now, from what I can see straight away, I do see a high, a low, a high that didn't go above the top, a low, a 4, a 5. So potentially this is a weak wave E. I call this potentially it could be type 1, but I'm thinking it's type 2, 5-wave move in wave 1, 5-wave move in wave 3, 5-wave move in wave 5, but it's obviously like a ending diagonal pattern. So if it was a type 2 weak wave E, then it would be zigzags in five waves down. Sorry, 5 waves in total of like zigzagging wave 1, zigzagging wave 3, zigzagging wave 5. But it doesn't matter. The point is that this can qualify as a 5-wave move. That's definitely a 3-wave move for D, right? Okay, fine. So if that's the case, what is going on from here? Okay, so it's C wave. It's the same thing that's what's going on in the other markets. The difference is here that the wave 1 and 2, the 2 was short and sharp, 3 went straight for it, because you can see that's a perfect perfect 5-wave move for wave 3. So what I believe is going on here is this was a sharp wave A, B, C, D, E. So right here, we are having the end of wave 4 ended down here for this C wave. So if I label this now, I'll just do it quickly, right? This is wave 1, right? That's wave 1. That's wave 2. That's wave 3. And wave 4 ended right there, right? So that's alternation for sure. Wave 2 was short and sharp. Wave 4, long and drawn out. This particular move, before I thought it was a 5-wave move, which is why I thought it might have been a zigzag down in the previous count. Well, A waves can sometimes be really sharp. They're called expanded zigzags. So that's basically what I think that is an expanded zigzag, because then you have your B, C, sharp C, and then your D, and then your E, that sharp move that happened. So we broke that now recently. So I'm thinking, okay, great. That's a wave 4, and wave 5 is coming. So it's basically the same as what's happening in Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin's making way more money at this point in time, but that's not the point here. The point is that, okay, we're going for C wave now. Okay, and that's going to basically complete the B wave. Now we're looking at everything that's in line with the bigger picture, right? So I'll recap on that. So you have your A wave here, A, B, C, D, E within the B wave, and then the C wave to complete the larger B wave. So the larger B wave, A wave here, followed by the B wave here. So that means that potentially we're still going to see that the rest of the correction happen within this area, like in the other coins like XLM and Cardano and Bitcoin, right? So I do believe that we're going to get, once we get to make that new high in this area, not all-time high, we're not going to, do not believe we're going to see all-time high just yet in XRP. Okay, we're just trying to get the count right to understand where we're falling back to in order to buy more at a lower price, right? Because if it's going to go down lower, what's the point of buying now up into here, right? So, I mean, I already own some XRP, but I want to buy more, but I don't want to buy it now. I want to buy it at a lower price, or at least 50-50, right? And this is also for other people out there who want to do this, okay? So where we'll see wave fall down to, this is the same thing I talk about in the other videos. It could be potentially that we're looking at a C, a D, and then an E pattern, something like that, right? It could go back to the midpoint. Now that, mind you, that midpoint might move because the high, I've only put this at the high here, and that's a wave 3. So we'd have to see wave 5, and then I'd actually have to adjust this channel to actually touch top of wave 5, and that midway point could be a bit higher. So don't take this literally. This is just an example of what could potentially happen, right? Or the alternative is it could coil up into a triangle type shape. Once we hit that midpoint later, it could then create that zigzag. Sorry, one sec. That triangle consolidation price action type pattern, right, where it looks a little bit like that, and it starts to sort of create a triangle shape in this area here after the B wave, right? Not before. Okay, this may look like triangular now, but there are more waves coming. We don't know exactly how they're going to pan out. Okay. Now, mind you, even if we do have the other view that I just gave you, right, we're still going to have to see a wave 1 occur at some point, right? A wave 1 that will basically break this high of wave E to confirm that the whole correction is complete since 2017, right? So when that happens, we will see a break of this wave E. That will confirm that's happened. And then potentially after that, we could see another correction, A, B, C, D, E, etc., that could potentially create the rest of the triangle shaped coil that's going to happen, right? Because remember, triangles are just price action creating a shape, but that price action is still within that shape that it creates, right? So that being said, I believe this same kind of thing is going to be also happening in the US dollar. Once it hits its E-wave target, it'll create a 1-2 pattern that'll also basically start coiling up into like a triangular type shape until it finally breaks down and collapses to the, and just dies. Whatever, who cares, right? But I'm sort of just giving you examples here. I know that my previous idea seemed a bit funky, but that's why I'm doing all the coins, and I'm going to do more and more. So if you want other ones done, I'll do my best. Hopefully you give me ideas that have data from at least 2017, or at least that it was around since before that time, right? It just helps the analysis. In this particular case, look, I must be honest with you, this does look more realistic to me, but I have given you the reasons why I thought this was not the case, right? Because this B wave will end up looking funky as hell, but there's a reason for it, right? XRP, Ripple copped it with the lawsuit, and it did cause this pattern to look bizarre. The C wave will be longer than the A wave because it has to make a new high above that B wave in order to be a zigzag, confirmed a zigzag, right? Because you can't just have a C wave that goes halfway. That's not a zigzag, right? But for some reason, the markets create these patterns, and there are rules that have to be achieved. So even though this C wave is looking bizarre, and I mean C wave in brackets, by the way, this one here, the orange one, right? Even though it may look bizarre in the end, it doesn't matter because it's still created that extra high, and it still has all the other waves contained within there, and they're basically still following within that, within the rules, right? Okay, so I'm very happy to be giving this view now because it clarifies things a lot better in general for myself and whoever likes to watch these things, these videos. So yeah, I mean, I don't think this is going to break up immediately. Why would one coin break up and not all the other coins? To me, I think that when the time comes, we're going to see crazy impulsive price action, right? Now, if you don't understand the difference between impulsive price action and corrective price action, please, you need to refresh your memory. Go back, even if you have to go back to like this 2017. These moves don't look choppy. When they move, they bloody move. And you know what? Markets trend 30% of the time, they correct for 70% of the time. You know, it's all, probably less than that, to be honest. But you can see that these moves are sharp. When they move, right? This is wave 2, right? So it's part of a much larger move. So if you want to put it into perspective to compare it to what's sort of coming in the future, you got to look at this area right down here, right? This is the same sort of BS that's going on around here, but this is a larger version, right? Because this is a larger pattern and a part of the larger picture, right? But picture this area right here. That's where we are around now, right? This is where we are around here. So you can see that there's like, I'll just quickly zoom in here. All right, I won't spend too long on this, but you can see straight away there's like a three wave move, 3, 5, 3, 5, right? And then boom, immediately took up. It's the same thing, right? Now, sometimes the correction can expand to the upside. That's fantastic. But to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to happen so much here. It may in the future after it hits that 5-wave move, and it's just got so much strength behind it because the beast is growing like crazy. But you need to be patient and wait till that happens first, because corrections are always going to happen, right? Now, obviously, this coiled up area here, that was a wave 4, right? This is not a wave 4. So that's why I suppose we just got to be careful to understand the pattern. And this shouldn't be taking too long for a wave 2 in general. It shouldn't be taking too long. So this is actually good. I like this view. It fits it better. CDE should happen fairly quickly, I suppose. Could be towards the end of the year, though. I don't know. I can't predict the future that much. More than likely, wave 2 will end at a point in time which is like significant and meaningful, like 2022, the end of 2021, right? Somewhere around like that. So usually there's like a meaningful like period of time. Like you'll notice, I don't know if you've ever looked, but interestingly, you'll get highs and lows can happen around the end of the month, right? Here, it doesn't always happen, but usually when it's a really significant point in time, then it's usually toward the end of the year. You know, don't take my word for it, by the way. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you my opinion. I love waves. It's what I do. You know, there's always things to discover, but just remember, I don't put out long trade ideas until I see that E-wave happen. I'll give you my analysis along the way. That's fine, but it can change. But if we start to build a picture of all the markets and sort of see this general pattern going on, and you'll notice that this particular coin was stronger at this point in time, it didn't have a lawsuit. Well, it went to all-time high, and then it's going to come back because it's part of the correction, etc. Right? But this poor bastard had a lawsuit, so it kind of is struggling a little bit. But that doesn't mean anything, because as soon as this correction is done, this thing is probably going to go higher than anything you've ever seen, right? It may even put Bitcoin in the dirt. How do you know? You don't even know, right? It's way better. It's way more efficient, right? Better use case. Yeah, sure, there's more circulation and supply, but who's to say they can't increase the Bitcoin amount of Bitcoins, right? I mean, at the moment, it's just all very new. Okay, this is a still very new area, and now's the time to get involved. There may not be that much time left, so you've got, I reckon, this year to load up as much as you can. Look for low prices to get in, or just keep getting in anyway. Get in from now until the end of the year, whatever. It doesn't really matter, right? As long as you're buying in, you're going to be set. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.